A woman has been shot and killed in upstate New York after going to the wrong house while looking for a friend's place.
This is a very sad case of some young adults that were looking for a friend's house and ended up at this man's house.
Police say 20-year-old Kaylin Gillis and a group of friends pulled into a driveway of the wrong property when the homeowner stepped outside and fired 2 shots at the vehicle they were in. Police say they were turning around and trying to leave the property when they were shot at. 65-year-old Kevin Monahan is charged with second-degree murder. And an 84-year-old white man has surrendered to police for allegedly shooting a black teenager who rang his doorbell in Kansas City. Andrew Lester is facing 2 felony charges in the shooting of 16-year-old Ralph Yarl, who went to the wrong house while going to pick up his 2 younger brothers. Yarl was shot twice, including once in the head. He is now at home recovering, and his mother says he's doing well given the circumstances. For more on this, we're joined live tonight by Jeffrey Butts, director of the Research and Evaluation Center at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Thanks so much for making the time to be with us tonight.
Hi, Leena. I appreciate it.
I'm hoping that I can start by just getting your thoughts on this incredibly disturbing story.
Yeah, disturbing is the right word. We usually think of crime and violence as being something you associate with young people with poor impulse control. These cases both show that it's the problem in America is how many guns we have in circulation and how easy it is to get firearms, not individual self-control.
Right. And when we take a look at this case, you know, we are hearing from the Clay County prosecuting attorney here, Zachary Thompson, saying that there was a racial component to this case. What I want to ask you tonight is are we missing a hate crime charge in this case? That has not been laid.
Well, I think that's a legal question, and it depends on the state and the jurisdiction and how their codes are written. But it certainly would seem that that would be an angle the police would be investigating, talking to family members and people who knew this person.
So, I mean, a 16-year-old boy just going to pick up his 2 younger brothers. His only mistake was that he got the house wrong, and he was shot in the head. What does that tell you about America's gun problem?
Well, connected with your last question, I think it's not hard to imagine if that man opened the door, looked through the door, and saw a Caucasian teenager standing there, he wouldn't have gotten the same reaction. So it's hard to ignore the racial dynamic here. But every country has people with poor self-control, with anger issues, with hate issues. The difference is we've decided in this country legally that anyone who wants one can have a weapon. And not only that, that anyone who wants to spend enough money can have very sophisticated weaponry. And that is not something that's been true in the United States forever. 60 years ago, we were living in a country that had fairly strong gun laws. We had laws against large capacity magazines. We even had laws against the use of silencers, or what called suppressors, because it was assumed that was associated with crime. State lawmakers and federal lawmakers over the past 60, 70 years decided to undo all those protections and create a lenient environment where anyone could have a weapon who wanted one. And that's how we've ended up where we are today.
How frustrating is it seeing children, students taking to the streets, calling for change? You see lawmakers, policymakers go back and forth, and this has really become such a political issue. How frustrating is that?
It's incredibly frustrating. I've been working in the crime and justice field and public safety for 40 years. And it's always been a problem trying to get lawmakers to act according to facts and knowledge and statistics and data. But I don't think it's ever been this bad. And of course, the whole political culture here, not just this country, but every country, has been affected by the widespread misinformation and disinformation. And I think watching our policymakers behave like clowns and fail or refuse to do something about this in America today is truly tragic. And I think you've probably heard that gun injuries has surpassed cancer and car crashes as the #1 reason people under the age of 18 die in this country. It's now weapons is #1, gunfire, which is tragic.
Yeah, that is a staggering reality in America. Jeffrey Butts, director of the Research and Evaluation Center at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Thanks so much for your perspective and your time tonight.
You're welcome.